Hi, round 9, hey? We are well and truly into the thick of the season. We have a sample size of data. We've got plenty of footy that we can look back on now. 2 months of footy to look back on now, start to see some trends. We are coming off a 6-day break after an emotionally charged game against the Pies, as it always is. Bit of frustration. I think the 6-day break is a major positive in this regard because we have no choice but to move on. And upon reflection, I don't think we played that bad. I don't think we played as bad as what I felt. And sometimes your emotions can get in the way. And I know mine certainly did. I knew that they would. So I tried to, compartmentalize last week as such. But I don't think we're going as bad as what it seems or what it seemed to me. We come up against yet another great threat. So this is now going to be 4 games in a row against top 4-ish quality teams, which I love. We are playing against the best that the competition has to offer. It's a home game for us at the MCG. And the D's are a side that, recent history, not just the semi-final, but even games prior to that, they've been close encounters, one goal in the margins when it goes either way. We have started to equalise the ledger over the last 5 or 6 years. It seemed like for a period of time we just couldn't beat the D's and they just couldn't stop beating us by a kick. And now we've got some history with them, recent history, close, important, blockbuster games. And so I don't expect this to be any different, to be honest with you. I think we're lacking experience in our side. I think we are a team that has just entered into the conversation as a contender after what happened 2023. We are viewed as one of the better sides in the competition. It's really interesting to hear opposition supporters talk about Carlton now compared to the way it used to be. For us, we're critical of our side because we want to be there, we want to win the flag, and sometimes we can get in our own way. Whereas if you talk to an opposition supporter, you sense the fear. We're not a bad side. We're not going as great as what we can. We're missing a lot of our more important players, and we're going to get some of them back this week, hopefully. Vossi mentioned 3 in particular: McGovern, Martin, and Marchbank. I don't know if all 3 will be available. I feel like he might have jumped the gun because he quickly mentioned over the next few weeks. But I think McGovern in particular is one that we are really missing. He and Saad, experienced, high-level operators. We're going to need that against the Ds. They're another side that will punish us if we don't use the ball well. Having said that, we've got to be bold and daring, and it's such a balance. You've got to be daring with the ball. You've got to be willing to take the game on. At the same time, you've got to look after the football, play the percentages, don't turn it over in the corridor. I know it might seem that we've got a tough stretch happening and the fixture's tough, but this is only going to be good for us. I really do feel like, and I'm not conceding that we'll lose this week, but I think in general, I'm seeing a little bit of what we saw last year. I'm seeing we've lost a couple. I think what we are entering now is the test of 2024. Every season you have your lowest point and your highest point. I think we are entering a tough stretch, clearly, with the availability factor and the teams that we're playing and the form that they're in. And I think it is going to be a test of whether or not we've learned our lessons from last year. And, I think, history will repeat itself until you have to figure it out. I mean, we got to a point last year where they're going to sack Voss or not. They didn't. They learned the lesson. And I just get this feeling that we're going through something a little similar, bit of a testing time. I think in our losses, we are playing better football than ever before. I know that might sound a little weird. I'm not glossing over losses, but one of the big keys for me pre-season was lifting the floor. We were a very volatile team. It was like really, really bad and painful, scoring 67 to 72 points in a game and not looking likely. And now our losses are coming in, blockbuster games, arm wrestles against top sides, or sides that have to play at the very best that they possibly can. So I do take some optimism away from the way we're losing in a really weird way. I mean, I'm a competitor, and when you're competing, there's no use having a defeatist attitude after round 8. I think you just got to keep moving forward, and that's not the attitude that I would expect from the club. So I think we're going better than what my emotions sometimes tell me. But the reality is, got to win. You have to beat Melbourne. We're coming off a 6-day break. They're coming off a 5-day break. They played the Cats. They beat the Cats. Classy side, the D's, premiership experience all over the ground. And you just get the feeling it's going to be, I get the feeling anyway, it's going to be one of those, 75 plus tackles per side, all heart type game. I don't think this will be a game with more than a 10-point margin. I think this will be just a tight tussle. If we get the players that we hope to get back, I think we're in good shape. I think our structure is holding up relatively well as it possibly could. I'd love to see McGovern come straight in. If Martin's fit and available, I'd love to see him come straight in. I think that fixes two of the biggest problems right now. First of all, our ability to intercept and rebound, it's almost not there anymore. I think Brody Kemp coming into the side hopefully will, if he does, that'll help as well. And then our entries inside 50, and I think just our maturity in the forward line. Harry and Charlie are there. They are mature players, but Martin is a smart player. He knows where to move, how to move, and I just think he's a more of an experienced head that can impact on both sides for us. So those are a couple of really crucial pieces, and got to pinch one. I just feel like we're holding on at times, and we've got to pinch one against the flow. I feel like we're swimming an uphill battle. As I said last week, you can't stop the waves, but you can learn how to surf, and it feels like we're learning how to surf, just getting through. So it should be a great contest. If you're a Melbourne fan and you're watching, I don't really know what the story is with you guys. I mean, there's just ultimate respect. It's just I think because we've played in matches over the last 3 in a row in particular against the greatest sides in the league, I'm almost becoming accustomed to it. I like it. I like the fact that there can be no question over the difficulty of the opponents that we're playing. Melbourne will be a different challenge. Their team defense is the thing that impresses me, I think, more than anything. They're not as potent up forward with tall forwards, but their team defense is one of the best in the league. They force you to put the ball in areas in the ground that are just not to your advantage, and they suck you in and they get you to move the ball exactly where they want you to move the ball. Stephen May, solid defender, not just one-on-one, but part of the team defense as well. He links up so well with Jake Lever, and that's going to be a massive test. Stephen May has a really good, I think he's probably the prototype defender for someone like Charlie Curnow. He's strong, he's athletic, he's got a bit of both. And then Lever's just great. But I do think, again, if we're poised enough, we've had plenty of experience in big games now to get the job done. I think it's possible. So a coin flip for me. That's how I see it anyway. What about you? How are you looking forward to Thursday night? Are you going? Does the fact that it's a Thursday night impact your ability to go? I know that there's families with kids that go to school, so I would assume that might hurt the crowd number, which is disappointing. But whatever. Thursday night footy, blockbuster time slot footy. Everyone will be watching. But yeah, what are you feeling about this week? We will be giving away tickets to the game, so make sure you're tuning into the Teams show. Fill out your details in the description below. I've got a form, so name, phone number, email address, and we'll be spinning the wheel on the team show and giving away some tickets to some lucky people. Otherwise, I'll chat to you about the game and your selections. I'd like to know where you're thinking about our selections, because that was a big talking point after last week. So we'll go from there. See you Thursday night at the MCG. Go Blues. Come on.